Intro. All right, Abe. This game is going so good that we've been talking for 5 minutes, and I forgot to hit go live. That's the kind of game it's going. We played a whole 5-minute intro. We thanked all of our sponsors. We talked for 10 minutes about Nick Clifford's dominance, and I looked up, and we weren't even live yet. So that's basically fitting for how this game went.
So let's recap. Broncos lost. Nick Clifford's an NBA talent. You might vote for him and Medved as Coach of the Year and Player of the Year, but it could be Patino and Dent. That's about what we covered.
All right, thanks, Abe, for your time tonight. But I'll keep it short. But we were talking, and yes, I apologize, folks. That that's the way it's going. My bad. I'm glad I looked and saw somebody said, "Where's he at?" Because I may have done the whole hour-long show and not realize that we weren't live. But that was as impressive as a performance we've seen in a long time.
And I'm sure you mentioned it on the pregame, but 7 NBA scouts here, and they were here to see Clifford, and he put on a career high in this building against Coach Rice as an opponent at 36 points. And it wasn't just 36 points on 28 shots or 30 shots where you don't shoot a good percentage. I mean, he was 13 out of 18 and 6 for 6 from the line. And this team, again, Colorado State is the #1 free throw shooting team in conference. They average 8. They shoot 80% from the line, and they went 19 for 19 in the second half. And you just cannot come back. If you're down and a team is making all their free throws, every single one in the second half, I don't know how you come back.
And I brought up Andrew Meadow and his defense, and I asked Leon Rice about it, but I just, it wasn't working, and they didn't try anything different. I was a little surprised they didn't try something different on Nick Clifford because it wasn't working one-on-one with Andrew Meadow. But as you gave a great answer that nobody heard, not a lot of options.
For that position, there's not a lot of options. If there's a player inside, then you can probably go to some other people. But when you have someone like Clifford who has really good back down moves and can fade away and has a huge vertical. I mean, he has a really big vertical to create that distance from his defender vertically instead of really side to side. I don't really know who else you put on him. He could go by the 4 and 5 men. He can post up the 1 and 2 guys. And so Meadow, maybe Carmichael. I would say you could have ran a double team at him just to get the ball out of his hands and try and have someone else do something. But, he had a career night. He had a career night. He averages 18 coming in conference, and he had 36.
36 points, and that was the most in this building, as we said, by an opposing player in the Leon Rice era. 83-73, the final Boise State Falls, and just with all the way it was set up, Abe, on senior night for Tyson and for Alvaro and for Omar, it wasn't the way you expected this one to go.
No, and it felt like it. It felt like it was going to go the right way. They had a 9-point lead about halfway through that second half, and then we were talking earlier. That's when Nick Clifford went off. He hit a 3. He drove to the hoop. He drove and kicked it out to a teammate for a 3. Then he hit a 3 and got fouled, and then all of a sudden, Nick Clifford single-handedly brought the Colorado State back, and then making all their free throws, and the Broncos getting kind of cold on offense. Again, Colorado State went to a zone, forcing the Broncos to do some different things. And in the last 3 games, the Broncos have shot 24% from 3 against Fresno, against Air Force, and against Colorado State. So it's tough to beat teams that are in the top half of the league if you shoot in the 20s from 3.
And Boise State's defense, I mean, I know Clifford did his thing, but I thought Colorado State hit some other crucial shots, and they shoot 57.4%.
I haven't looked at all of Colorado State's stats for every single game, but I would put money that from the floor, from 3, and from the line, this is their best shooting game of the season. They went 57% from the floor, 47% from 3, and 96% from the line.
Yeah, 21 of 22 from the foul line. Another thing I didn't understand, Abe, and I'm sure you have a reason for it, and why I don't know basketball, but when Nick Clifford got his 3rd foul pretty early in the second half, I don't think they really tried to attack him at all. And then when he got his 4th foul, they didn't really try to attack him at all. I know it's matchups, it's things, but why not try to get their best player on the bench?
Well, they were in a zone when he got his 3rd and his 4th foul, especially his 4th foul. They were in a zone, and that can kind of protect the player when they have those fouls, because you're not just sitting, you're not running off of a screen or have a one-on-one. You're more guarding a space. But yeah, I mean, the Broncos could have attacked a little bit differently, but I think it comes down to a couple things. You had a guy have a career night, and the Broncos just aren't a great 3-point shooting team, and they were. And when you're not a great 3-point shooting team and you get a little cold, then that's where it's going to be trouble. But just like that, you could also get kind of hot. The Broncos don't need to shoot 40% from three to win games because they can get to the line and they're so good at the 2-point shot. They only need to shoot maybe like 30 or 32%, and they'll score a ton of points and get wins. And hopefully they can do that in these next 3 games in Vegas.
And Colorado State was double and even triple teaming Tyson Degenhardt. Only 6 shot attempts tonight. It just, again, not what we saw coming. And I know it's a lot of what they were doing to him, but and he did get to the foul line 7 times with 6 of 7. But I mean, we've talked at times this year about Tyson needing to be a little more aggressive, and I don't know what you saw in that, but it's tough to win, when Tyson's taking 6 shots.
It is, and it's tough to be aggressive when you got double teams all the time. I mean, you can look at it that you're trying to force something up, but that's also not who Tyson Degenhardt is. He's a guy who, if he doesn't have his shot or he thinks he can do it, he's going to kick it out. Colorado State had a nice game plan defensively, and I think that's something the Broncos are going to need to look at, because if there's some teams that are looking, especially San Diego State, if they don't have Guath, the 7-footer shot blocker inside, who hasn't played in the last few games for them, if they don't have him, then I think you're going to see them do something like that to Tyson, just to try and get the ball out of his hands, because he is so good in the post.
So how do they kind of regroup from this? And as you said, playing San Diego State, one positive, I guess, is it's the 2:30 game, and if they win that, they're playing at 6, not at midnight Eastern or whatever is the next game. The times are a little better at least, but obviously this is a much tougher path, having to play San Diego State in the first game, then New Mexico in the second game.
It is, but if you're looking to get back onto that bubble, that this loss hurts you. I mean, it could be a quad one win in the first 2 games of the Mountain West tournament, since it's on a neutral court. So I don't know exactly where San Diego State and New Mexico stand, but I'm thinking they are going to be quad 1 games. So it's still there for the Broncos. And if there's anything that this team has done, it has been able to regroup. They had a pretty poor conference stretch there where, bottom of the barrel, rock bottom that we talked about, that everyone's talked about at Colorado State, but then they bounced back. And this team has bounced back from losses all year long. And so I think they hopefully they can just find 30%, 31% from 3.
Tyson Degenhardt's still in his full uniform here. He's not ready to take that off and walk out of here. Him and his girlfriend just kind of walked out of the arena. He was, still in here visiting with some people and taking some pictures.
Tons of family here for him. I mean, and it's not, I mean, it's emotional for the players, of course, but I mean, the family and friends have been just as invested in all these seniors and all these players throughout their entire career. There's people that were here for Tyson that probably saw him play his first basketball game in elementary school and were family friends and followed him all through here. So trying to soak it all in, talk to everybody that you can. And that's the type of guy Tyson is too.
Well, tough one, Abe. Tough start to this show as well as the game. It was a rough one. So I appreciate you sticking around, and I guess we will see you Thursday in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
2:30. Is it 2:30 1:30 Pacific? Is it a 1:30 or 2:30 Pacific? So 3:30.
2:30 Pacific, 3:30
okay.
in Boise.
All right. Well, we'll figure that out, and even got some hot dogs here for the media. So, Abe, appreciate you, man. Thanks for doing this, and we will we'll see what happens here moving forward. Hey, how you doing? What's up, Kyson? Boise State falls. We're gonna get our man. Nathan Carroll come on here as well. Thank you for the hot dog there and the drink. There's not any basketballs back here. Sorry, bud. TacoBellWorks.com, the SOM Management Group, the Nicolason family. Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. If you're looking for some Taco Bell, that is a spot that you need to go check out. Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. RowPaint.com is our title sponsor as well. ROEPaint.com. RowPaint.com, all your painting needs, whether it's the interior, exterior painting, those concrete coatings. RowPaint.com, our title sponsor. We mentioned Tyson Degenhardt. ICCU.com, Idaho Central Credit Union. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, with the easiest, that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. Check them out, ICCU.com. And they were one of the first to step up in the NIL game with Tyson and return the favor, folks. You may think you like your banking experience. I can promise you, you'll like the folks over at Idaho Central Credit Union even better. We bring in Nathan Carroll, and Nathan, tough one tonight. And if you're watching the show or joining late, the first 6 minutes, me and Abe were talking. I looked down and realized I hadn't hit go live yet. I don't know if that's ever happened before. I don't know if that's ever happened to me before. I wanted to start the timer in the intro, and I forgot to hit go live. So just
that kind of night.
One of those nights, I guess, unfortunately. But appreciate you for sticking around, and not the way anybody saw this one going tonight.
Yeah, I mean, certainly was always on the table of Boise State losing this game. Colorado State's a good basketball team, and mentioned it in the pregame. Nick Clifford's a really good player that Boise State just doesn't have a lot of guys who can match up with him, and He had a good game in Fort Collins, had 27 and 7, and he had an all-time game tonight, scoring 36 points on, I think it was 13 of 18 shooting, and he was unstoppable. Once in the second half, once Colorado State figured out that they could go to Nick Clifford and it was going to be a bucket every single time, there was really nothing Boise State could do to stop him. I know you talked a little bit about some of the matchup stuff and the decisions there. Leon in particular just said post game that they feel like Meadow's one of their strongest perimeter defenders. Felt like his strength was something that they liked in that matchup with Nick Clifford, and it turned out it didn't matter. He 36 points, and he hit some tough contested ones, but also got a lot of good looks because that's the kind of player Nick Clifford is. He's going to be a first round pick. Wouldn't be shocked if he goes top 20 or even back end of the lottery, especially after a game like that. He's going to be moving up draft boards, and really, really impressive player. And unfortunately for Boise State fans, I think that is the story of the night. Just Nick Clifford's awesomeness.
Yeah.
And
we were talking to him back here. He's a very nice young man. We said something. He said that was his career high, and we said something about the most in this building. And he's like, "What? Tyson never went for 40?" And we're like, "No, we were talking about opposing players, but either way, he was giving Tyson a lot of props and things, and said, oh, he's always giving us trouble and stuff." And so, the 4-point play was kind of just perfect way to show how this game went. When he hits the three and gets fouled, he was everywhere tonight. He had a heck of a game, and when you look at it too, on 36 points on 18 shots. He went 13 of 18 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3-point range, hits all 6 of his free throws. When he decided to come back to Colorado State and not test the draft last year, it changed Colorado State's season, and it sounds like it's helped him improve his own stock as well. Yeah, definitely. And I think even most impressive in that box where I think he airballed his first 2 shots of the game, or at least missed his first 2 shots. So once he got going, and it's not just the scoring with him. He's one of the best defensive players in the conference. He's an exceptional playmaker. He's an incredible rebounder. I know there were a couple of times where Boise State threw a double team at him, tried to blitz him and get the ball out of his hands. And every time he found the perfect pass, led to a wide open bucket. He's just one of those players that it's really, really tough to game plan for. And I think the one area where if you do want to criticize Leon and some of the game plan, I think, going with Meadow the whole game, I think you could certainly nitpick, but then they didn't throw a lot of different looks at Nick Clifford. Sometimes when you're playing a really talented player like this, it's about, all right, let's spend 3 minutes in a zone, and then let's spend 3 minutes, blitzing him. Let's spend 3 minutes switching on these screens, and then let's try to hedge these screens, and just throwing different looks at him so he just has to continually solve problems. I don't know if Boise State did the best job at doing that tonight, but and we talked about it with Leon post game. He just said sometimes you got to tip your hat to an amazing player having an amazing game, and that really was at the end of the day what it was. I don't know who you could have thrown on Nick Clifford to get stops, because when he was shooting the way that he was, it's tough to stop. To me, the bigger issue as we got down the stretch there was the offense. Just 13 points in the last 11 minutes. Cardenas said it in the post game that when they went to that zone, it threw them out of their rhythm, and they just weren't getting open looks. They weren't getting great looks, I should say. And then when they did get great looks, they weren't able to knock them down. You talked about it, 7 of 29 from 3, just 24%. And Colorado State's not a great 3-point defense. They give up about 35% on the year. That's bottom half in the nation. So it's a team that you should be able to hit shots against. And Boise State was not hitting shots against them tonight. So to me, I think that's the more concerning part, and it really does in some ways kind of sum up this season, right? How many times have we left a game saying, man, Boise State just could not knock down the 3-ball tonight, and that was the difference, and it was the difference tonight. They won the turnover battle, they won the rebound margin, they blocked a shot and didn't have any shots blocked. A lot of those little box score areas that generate extra possessions, they got them. Yeah, it just couldn't shoot. Leon pointed to the lack of production from the bench as well. Mm-hmm. The bench in this game only had 6 points. Yeah, you didn't really get much off the bench tonight. You get 2 points from Keene, 2 points from Ugbo, 2 points from Buchanan. That's your whole bench right there. And so I just didn't get much. A lot of different reasons behind that. But again, Omar Stanley, I thought at times that he had a huge block there, which led to the Carmichael layup, and you're thinking, okay, they're in a pretty good, they're looking pretty good here, and that forced Niko to call a timeout, and you're thinking, okay, man, like this is, Boise State's about to just take control of this game, but credit Colorado State for getting back in it, and Stanley finishes with 5 points. Did have that big block. Degenhart 15 and 9 on his senior night. Carmichael was 7. Andrew Meadow 22 points. I mean, maybe defensively maybe he wasn't perfect, but offensively he had some huge shots, and he was 7 for 7 from the foul line. Cardenas again, kind of doing everything he can to will them. 22 points. 18 points for him. 8 assists as well, and only 2 turnovers. So 18 and 8 for him. He added 6 rebounds as well. Yeah. But he took 16 shots tonight, which is, maybe a little more than he's been taking in the past. I don't know if it was a season high, but it might have been close if it wasn't. But again, just not enough from the bench. And overall, Boise State shoots just 41.8% from the field. You mentioned the struggles from 3. So they actually probably shot pretty good. They were, from 2-point percentage. They
got 62%.
Okay, so they were pretty good, as they usually are inside the paint. They just took 29 threes, which is a lot of 3-point attempts for them.
Yeah, 29 threes, only 26 from 2-point range. I think and Leon talked about it post game, coming out of the half, Boise State was attacking the basket and they were able to get looks at the rim, and Colorado State made some adjustments and essentially said, let's crash hard and force them to kick out and knock down threes. And Boise State didn't do it. And they just continued to dare Boise State to shoot throughout the rest of the night. And, Meadow hit a couple and was able to get the lead to 60-51. But from that moment, Colorado State goes on a 32-13 run, and that's your ball game. That's where it ended up going down for the Broncos.
And I had the stat that I kind of liked. I went back and looked, in the last 10 years, going back to 2015, they have never entered the conference tournament on a winning streak. They've either lost the last game or won the last game, but they've never been on even a 2-game winning streak in the last decade, going back to 2015. And it's only happened one time in the Leon Rice era where they've actually gone into the conference tournament with more than a 1-game winning streak. And so you thought if they would have got this tonight, riding in on a ton of momentum, 6 in a row. But again, familiar story, going down to Vegas, trying to turn the tide from a disappointing, end of season loss.
Yeah. And tonight's a night that Colorado State, they're a little bit more desperate, right? Boise State was firmly on the bubble. Colorado State needs to win a couple games to even get onto the bubble. And the reality is, I think that if not for the slow start to conference play and the questionable losses in non-con, Boise State's 9-2 in their last 11. For the most part, I think you'd be feeling pretty good about this team going down to Vegas. But it's, you lose this game, but it's also the 5-4 start to conference play. It's the loss to BC. It's the loss to Washington State. It's just enough hiccups down the road that even this is a game where, under most circumstances, I think you tip your hat, say, you know what, Niko Medved, they had an NBA player who played like an NBA player tonight. Yeah. Because of all of the little losses along the way, it feels like the culmination of the disappointment of the season really coming down for Boise State today. And yeah, now, I think you got to win 3 in 3 days down in Vegas if you want to get a shot. I saw some people say Boise's still on the bubble. If you get to the final, you might have a chance. But, I think best case scenario, you're feeling, probably pretty pessimistic on Selection Sunday unless you go down there and win the whole thing. And San Diego State on Thursday, likely New Mexico on Friday, and then conference championship, which is probably going to be this Colorado State team, I'd say.
They're looking pretty good right now.
They're looking really good, and I think last time they played Utah State, I think they beat them by 30. Let me pull up that score. Yeah, they were 27 when they played them last time. So you likely get CSU, Utah State in the semifinals. So yeah, I mean, it's a tough road ahead for Boise State, no doubt about it. And this is a tough one, and it's a tough one to swallow for these seniors. Talked about it in pregame. Just these 3 seniors, I feel like, especially for Boise State fans, were lovable and guys that you could really relate with. I mean, Alvaro, the play style that he has, the leaders that he's emerged as, we've talked about it all year. That's the kind of player you want to see in the big dance. A guy like Omar Stanley, who's had his ups and downs, but comes out here during the senior night celebration, and you can just see him saying over and over again, just thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, he has such an appreciation for Boise State and their fans. And then obviously, Tyson Degenhart, which kind of feels like Mr. Boise State basketball over these last 5-10 years. You talked about it, you pointed it out. Usually the players are out of here pretty quickly in the post game, right? They get changed and they get out of here. it must have been an hour after the game finished, and he's still out there, in his jersey, in his shorts, full uniform. Just could tell how much he loves and appreciate this place. So it's tough to see Boise State go down in this way, in this fashion, especially on senior night. Trevor
says Nate's wanting to hit the end zone so bad. After this one, I think everybody could probably use a couple of cold ones. Hello, NIT. A couple people asking about the NIT. All I can say, guys, is the Mountain West is guaranteed an NIT spot, and that goes to the highest ranked team. That doesn't. There's a whole convoluted thing behind it, but just know that the Mountain West Conference will get at least one team in the NIT this year. I don't know what the metrics are going to say. Do you think Boise State is still higher in the metrics than Colorado State?
Well, Boise State down to 51 in Ken Palm, and it looks like Colorado State is up to 53 in Ken Palm.
Okay, so I don't know where they were in the net coming in, but if Colorado State were to not make the tournament, whoever the highest ranked team is for sure gets in, and then the other team probably gets in too.
Yeah.
I would think that Boise State would be an NIT team. My understanding is they do have a desire, if they had to play in the NIT, to host a game here. The Crown tournament, the new tournament in Las Vegas, apparently does have interest in Boise State as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 16-team tournament where apparently it's a pretty nice deal because there's some NIL money that goes to the collective involved in that. The collective gets paid, and then it's all in one location right down there in Vegas. And there's going to be some power conference teams in there, at least some name brand teams, because they have some deals with some teams. So I guess I can say this is probably obvious to people, that Boise State will play in a postseason tournament. This is not the year where they're just going to say, see you later. We don't want to, for Tyson, for Alvaro, they sometimes the seniors want to be done. Sounds like the decision's been made one way or the other. This team will play in a postseason tournament. And I don't know what kind of crowd you could get in here if Tyson was 6 points away from the record and you could host an NIT game to have him break the school record. It certainly wasn't what it was, the way it was drawn up before the season. It wouldn't be how you would want it, but I guess it'd be a small consolation for the season if you could see Tyson Degenhardt at home, get another game in this building and break the record. I don't know if people would think that was any kind of way to salvage the season or not. But my understanding is, like I said, that I don't think Boise State wants to come out and pump their chest and say, yeah, we want to host, but and here comes Tyson, by the way, as well.
Yeah, and look, Alvaro Cardenas said it first thing in the post game that it's a setback. They want to reset and they want to go down to Vegas and go make a run down in Vegas, right? So no doubt about it that's still going to be the goal. They still have that in mind and want to see the NCAA tournament. We'll see what we'll see what the rest of the season has in store.
They want to win obviously, go down there and win the tournament and not have to worry about it. And maybe they get to the championship. Maybe there are crazier things that happen. But if the chips don't fall that way, I think there's they're playing somewhere. And I don't know. Let us know in the chat if would it. Again,
would you go?
I understand like you're not making this season all of a sudden a success, but in terms of just salvaging what has been a disappointing season, would you go if Tyson Degenhardt was 6 points away from the record to host an NIT game against, I don't know, Utah Valley, or I don't know who would it be? I have no idea who else is in the mix. It'd be some regional team, but I don't know. That's an interesting one. I would think the diehards would want to come and see that. And would they get the crowd they had tonight? No. They'd probably have, 5,000-6,000 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Like I said, I think Boise State is still hoping they can get in the NCAA tournament, but they do have to make preparations for that. And we are out on NIT anything, my guy, according to Sky. So I guess Sky is one person that would not be wanting to come to the NIT. I think that if they did have the Degenhardt angle, might help a little bit.
Yeah.
If he hadn't broken the record yet and he's within striking distance, maybe that helps. But yeah, let's be honest here. I'm not, trying to, put lipstick on a pig or whatever. The season has been,
it's been a disappointment.
It's been a disappointing season to this point. I don't think anybody could say it hasn't been to be the preseason favorites and to end up in the 4-5 game and to have a home game on your own floor to basically put yourself in the tournament or be right there, just needing to go down and beat Nevada, and to lose it, as a 6-point favorite at home with everything that was on the line. It sucks. There's no way if you're a Boise State fan, a player, a coach, this was the game that unfortunately swings your season to be not great season, but you get in the tournament, you do what you want to do and have a chance to now all of a sudden you got to go down to Vegas. And I think the tough part is you got to play a San Diego. But, I told you, and people are going to laugh at me, whatever. But, this is just, watch them go at least beat San Diego State. Watch them go win the tournament. No one's giving them a chance. Everyone's saying they're done. It's been that kind of season.
Mm-hmm.
Watch them go down there and but again, you look at the matchup, and especially if Guath were to come back, it hasn't gone well the 2 times they've played them. Guath, that's a very difficult matchup for them. At least the game is in the afternoon, like we said, 2:30 game. But other than that, the matchup itself is not one to this point that you'd feel great about.
Yeah, and we've seen it with our eyes that it's a tough matchup. Struggled with their shot making and their athleticism. Their perimeter defense has really frustrated Boise State's offense. But at the same time, Bart Torvik's number gives Boise State a 16% chance at winning the Mountain West tournament with the current matchup structure.
You're telling us there's a chance.
There's a chance. 16%. Is it a lot? No, but I know for a fact some of you in the chat go down to Jackpot and go play the roulette table, and that's not 16% odds, but you're playing hoping to win anyways. So, but as the guy said in the post-game interview, right, you take it one game at a time. You start with that San Diego State game. There are some things to pull from those 2 losses that I think you might be able to work with and game plan around. And part of it was, San Diego State had some guys get hot who haven't always gotten hot. All you need is one of those guys to cool off for a game, and all of a sudden now you go up against New Mexico team. The last time you played them, really, it was an 8-point finish, but you're up 20 with 4 minutes to go, and then you're in the championship. You never know. So there are still games ahead, and it's been a disappointing season, and the way that I think you make up for that is go down to Vegas and have a good showing, and who knows? Like I said, there's still a lot of bubble teams to play, and when we had the post-mortem after the San Diego State loss where it was probably Mountain West or bust, all of a sudden all of these teams start losing on the bubble, and it's like, okay, well, 15-5 Boise State is going to be in the field. 14-6 Boise State, you're going to need some luck, no doubt about it. But again, crazier things have happened, and the committee's disrespected the Mountain West a couple of years in the tournament selection. Maybe this is the year they swing back the other way and they decide to give some love to them.
I think that it's obvious, though, they'd have to probably at least win 2 games.
I think so.
You have to at least to have any kind of chance. You'd have to beat San Diego State. And then if you were to beat a New Mexico, as you said, you get a quad 1 win there. But that seems like right now it's probably win the Mountain West tournament or bust, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I think if you're a Boise State fan, that should be the goal. Go down there, win the Mountain West tournament.
But you know what? For fans in the chat that don't feel great about it, and they're pointing out, Leon's March record and all that. I mean, that's all fair criticisms, fair points. I mean, they have not traditionally gone down there and played well in this tournament, so it's hard to go down there feeling great about their chances. Maybe I'll get to not have to miss my kids' Little League games next weekend. After all, I was thinking on Saturday I'd be busy next week. I may not be now, but we're gonna play some interviews and things. You got any final thoughts just on the game, on the season? Obviously, as we said, a very disappointing, very disappointing game, which unfortunately now swings it into a disappointing season. And like I said, their track record, they're gonna have to go do something they really over time have not done is play well down there in Las Vegas. They've had a tough time down there in this conference tournament, and obviously their season's on the line. That's going to have to somehow change.
Yeah, we'll have the post-mortem on the season because it has been a disappointing season. I think as we just recap tonight, I thought Niko Medved did an excellent job coaching. Right, when they went down 9, he calls the timeouts and he makes adjustments. Right, they go to a zone, and that zone does a really good job of throwing Boise State's offense out of rhythm. I might go back and watch after this. I think after that timeout, they went to Niko Medved isolation pick and rolls, probably 6 or 7 possessions in a row. And just Boise State never had an answer for it. Any time that they made an adjustment, Niko Medved had the answer to it. And I thought Niko Medved did a phenomenal job coaching tonight. I think he's been one of the more impressive coaches that, at least watching Boise State games that I've seen, I think both games he had really, really, really well coached games. And it's a tough loss. It's unfortunate given the circumstances of the season. But the reality is Boise State's not missing the tournament or potentially missing the tournament because of this loss. So the stuff that happened earlier in the season, this team had been playing well, and even tonight, for a good stretch of tonight, they were playing well, and then just went cold from 3 at the wrong time. And Niko Medved just did Niko Medved things.
Well, we appreciate you for joining us. We'll be looking forward to your you may help with some of the spring football coverage while I'm down in Vegas for basketball next week. And I know you're expecting your wife's expecting here pretty soon, so you may be out of commission here in the near future. But we'll take you whenever we can get you, and we appreciate you for coming on and sticking around tonight. And you mentioned Niko Medved, the coach of Colorado State. I had a chance to catch up with him after the game. But thanks again, Nathan, for jumping on, man. We appreciate you. Let's hear from Niko Medved, the head coach, Colorado State, after the win.
Man, I told these guys, I've been coaching for a lot of years, and this group, I've never seen a group grow more and just get better and better and gain confidence. And man, we're coming into the Hornets' nest tonight. We're 60 down, 60-51, and our guys just kept finding more, and we kicked it in gear down the stretch. That's a heck of a team that we beat there tonight. So we earned it. It's as good of a win as we had. And I mean, Niko Medved put together, I think, one of the best performances I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, 36 for him. And, is just something about them continuing to put Meadow on him, and you guys kind of just liked that matchup and kept giving him the ball?
Yeah, I mean, Niko's a great player, and he got it going once he saw a couple of shots go in. And it's tough, man, because, you crowd him, and he can put it on the floor, and he can finish. And not only can he finish, but he can find guys. And he's been shooting the ball really, really well here the last several weeks, and that makes him such a tough cover.
When it was 60-51, what changed there? You outscored him 32-13.
Well, I think, we got in foul trouble early, right? I mean, we had 16 fouls, about 5 minutes into the half, and we decided to go zone. We have it in our toolbox, and we weren't able to get rebounds, but we were able to get them off the attack. They missed some shots. They weren't attacking us in the interior, and that just kind of allowed us to stem the foul trouble. And then I thought our man defense down the stretch was really good.
How'd you guys limit Degenhardt to like 7 shot attempts or whatever it was?
We doubled him a little bit. We tried to bring help when he drove it and had the ball in the post. He obviously up in Fort Collins, we had a lead, and he just killed us down the stretch, and we just made the determination that we weren't going to let him beat us. We wanted somebody else to, and tonight it worked out.
What's to say about for you guys? Just obviously a massive win, in second place and everything. Got winning this.
I mean, it's huge for our guys. I mean, 16-4 in the league, absolutely phenomenal. And I just want them to feel good here tonight about what we did in the regular season. And, obviously we're going to go to Vegas here, and that's a whole other tournament. We feel good about ourselves going into that tournament. But let's enjoy this tonight. This was a huge win for our guys, for our program, and it's been fun to watch them grow.
Are you guys an NCAA tournament team?
I mean, I think so. It's funny. Back in the old days, it used to be they used to factor in how you were playing down the stretch. And in my opinion, it's hard in the transfer portal area. You got so many new guys. Well, you're not going to be the same team in November and December. So you tell me. I mean, I look at the teams that are on the bubble right now, and you can't tell me we're not playing as well as all of them. But you know what? We just got to keep winning.
Well, there he is, Niko Medved, the head coach at Colorado State. We appreciate him for coming on. Somebody said, why would you want to hear from him? I like catching up with the opposing coach, and especially when they win the game, get his thoughts on why they won the game and the perspective there. So, again, going to be a tough call for me. I've got the coach of the year and all the awards to do here by Sunday morning. And I mean, Niko Medved certainly going to be getting strong consideration for Mountain West Coach of the Year. I mean, you look at where they were picked preseason, all that they lost, Isaiah Stevens and all the players they lost, and for them to be the number 2 seed, one game out of first place, 16-4 in this league. You got to give a lot of credit to Niko Medved. And I mean, Niko Medved, I'll have to look at the numbers again, but I know Donovan Dent's a heck of a player, but Niko Medved deserves some consideration for player of the year as well with the way that he, continued to, I mean, this game tonight, man, he just single-handedly willed them to a win tonight. I mean, he at one point had over half their points. I know he didn't finish with that. He had 28 of their 51, I think, at one point. I mean, just incredible. I guess one positive for you, the Broncos did get 70, so you can get that Jacksons hot dog and fountain drink when the Broncos score 70. You can get that on Sunday, so you'll be able to get that hot dog and fountain drink on Sunday with the Let's Go Rewards app since the Broncos did score 70 points. Make sure you head to Jacksons. $2 hot dog and fountain drink on Sunday. And don't forget they have that coffee anytime, any place, the 99-cent coffee using your Let's Go Rewards app at Jacksons. We'll hear from Leon Rice and some players in a minute, but Snake River Pool and Spa, thespateam.com, Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. You're looking for a spa, sauna, pool table, they got you covered. Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game, thespateam.com. I saw Travis Hawks tonight at the game. The Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorange.com has you covered all your Boise State gear. If you're heading down to the Mountain West Tournament, want some fresh gear. If you're heading to spring football, getting ready for the spring game. Hey, the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com is the website, theblueandorangestore.com. And you can go onto the Boise Town Square Mall, second floor next to Pro Image there, and check them out, the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Lithia Ford of Boise, our pregame show sponsor. Lithia Ford of Boise, they've got some great deals. They got some 2024 deals. They're trying to clear off the lot. So if you want a 2024 vehicle, they got some great deals and things right now as they make room for the 2025s. Lithia Ford of Boise, lithiafordboise.com, and we appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News. lithiafordboise.com. We got to pick a Matt Bauscher player of the game here before we're out of here, but Matt Bauscher, number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley for a reason. Maybe Matt not being here was just some bad karma for tonight. I know he was with his family up in Spokane for one of his kids' tournaments and was watching on TV, and I know it was a tough one for him, probably not being able to be here courtside. But Bauscher Real Estate, number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley for a reason. Rain's family bought and sold our home using Matt and his team, and just does a tremendous job. So we appreciate Matt for his support. Matt Bauscher, BauscherRealEstate.com. All right, let's hear from, let's go, who do we want to hear from? Cardenas and Meadow. Let's go Alvaro Cardenas, Andrew Meadow after Boise State's loss, 83-73 to Colorado State.
Al, just with everything on the line, it didn't seem like for you, how tough was that one?
Yeah, I mean, obviously nobody wants to go out like that. But, we can't dwell on it too much. We really appreciate the people in Boise. They really, really showed out today. The environment was great, and sad that we, couldn't get a win on our last game. But, I mean, we're not done yet. And I think the whole locker room believes that. We got San Diego State, and, we'll take it one game at a time, but just got to regroup and back at it on Thursday.
It's been kind of a tough season at times. It's kind of like, hey, why not make it a little tougher here? I mean, you guys still believe.
Yeah. No, and I think this group has done a really good job of, when things aren't going our way, responding. And I think we get better with adversity, and I think we're going to do that one more time.
With about 10 minutes to go in the game out, you guys are up 60-51. Andrew can't miss from 3. Omar has the big block, and Peanut finishes with the layup, and Colorado State calls a timeout. What kind of happened at that point? It felt like you guys were, on the cusp of just, finishing that game, and then just completely swung in Colorado State's favor. Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Nick Clifford killed him. At 36 points, made every big shot he could make. So I think that was a big difference. Certain plays where, I think if they went our way, the outcome would have been different. But yeah, I mean, hats off to him. He played an amazing job, but we got to be better at, guarding those, stars in the other team and making sure we shut out their water.
Offensively, 13 points in the final 11 minutes. Just what happened with your shooting?
Yeah, well, I think credit to them. They did a really good job of switching their, their defense and going to that 2-3 zone. It really got us out of rhythm. And, it's good to know we'll prepare for it and we got to be better. But I think it really starts on the defensive end because, when we were getting stops and running, their defense can't get set. So we just didn't really get enough stops at the end of the game. And, when you're playing against a set zone and you're not making shots, it's hard. It's hard to score.
Andrew, for you were guarding Clifford a lot tonight. How tough is that matchup?
I mean, it's tough. He's a great player for a reason, and we just tried to make it tough on him. But I mean, he made huge shots. He made tough shots. He made every shot. So I mean, we just got to learn from it and be better.
How demoralizing is that at times? Where some of the crazy ones and the 4-point play and whatever you guys are trying wasn't working.
Yeah, it definitely hurts in the moment. But we're a good team at regrouping and huddling right after and saying we're good. We were positive the whole game. So I think we're gonna be fine and we're gonna regroup and we're gonna make a run in Vegas.
It's looking like that your season is coming down to those 3 games in Vegas. What do you have to do, over the next few days to really get ready for that?
Just take it one day at a time. We can't look ahead to next Saturday. We gotta look ahead to Monday and have a great practice on Monday and just take it from there.
I know you wanted to win no matter what, but for the seniors and to have them kind of have this be their last game, probably a year, but I mean, how tough was that?
It's tough. I know. We tried to play as hard as we could for these seniors, and I mean, we love these guys, and sucks we couldn't get it done. But the good thing is we're not done yet. We still have more games.
Al, for you, you played a ton of minutes, during this season, and I don't know how much you got left in the tank. It just feels like some of the maybe like last couple step back threes or whatever. I don't know if the legs are a little bit tired or anything like that, but how deep are you digging right now? I guess.
I'm feeling great. I mean, it is true that I missed a couple short ones. Didn't get low enough on my shots and probably shot too many threes again. But I mean, I'm feeling great, as fresh as ever.
What do you guys do the next couple days? I mean, you have like this. I don't know if you call it bye necessarily, but
Yeah.
What do you do these next couple days to catch your breath before you play the most important basketball of the season?
I think just like I said earlier, just not looking ahead. I think the best thing we could do is stay in the moment, not worry about outcomes or anything like that. Just try to get better. Like, that's the biggest thing. Just trying to get better as a team at this point in the season, I think, will be huge for us.
Andrew, just real quick as well, I think you've scored now at least 17, 18 points in the last 5 games. I mean, how far do you think your game has come, even just in the last half season when you've really kind of got that started?
I mean, I think it's came a long way, but I mean, I'm confident in myself. I know what I can do on the floor. I don't think it's anything extraordinary. I think I just caught a stride. My teammates are finding me, and I'm hitting shots.
Well, there they are, Andrew Meadow, Alvaro Cardenas after the game. Pete, you must not watch any of my post-game shows. He says, I'm avoiding the fans' response by diverting to Nate in video interviews. We do this every post-game show. We have Abe Jackson on, we have Nathan Carroll on, and we play post-game interviews every game. So, no, that's nothing new. Not at all. Let's see. Weird how someone else saying weird how I only take comments after they win so he can defend Leon. Again, not really true at all, Zach. I said they haven't played well in Vegas. I said I don't understand why Andrew Meadow was the only one to be guarding Niko Medved and why they didn't try something different. I also didn't understand why they wouldn't attack Niko Medved when he had 3 or 4 fouls. So I don't think I've really done any defending of Leon on this show. So the narratives are kind of funny, and you guys can stick with those and keep those, and that's great. But I think I said this has been a disappointing season. It was a disappointing night. I know I'm not going to come on here and demand that Leon Rice, be fired. Of course not. That's silly talk. But I think I said that he, probably didn't coach a great game tonight. I think that's fair to say. I mean, they lost the game. He would tell you he didn't coach a great game. I mean, they lost at home as a 6-point favorite. I mean, Niko Medved did go for 36, and that had a big part to do with it. But I'm not. Don't think I've said anything on here to that's homerish or whatever. I mean, the facts are what they are. They didn't play good. They lost the game. They scored 13 points in the final 11 minutes, and now they got to go to Vegas and win the Mountain West tournament to get in the NCAA tournament. I think those are all facts, and that's they didn't play good, and it's been a disappointing season. It really has. And I think Leon would tell you that. I mean, you picked first and you finished 5th, whatever it was. That's certainly been. Didn't go the way anybody saw it coming, but they do have the opportunity to go to Vegas and again, haven't played that well down there, but it wouldn't be, with the way this season's gone, maybe it's, exactly what's going to happen, that they'll go down there. It is what it is. Tough night, tough season to this point, but the season's not over to this point. So somebody asking if they can get the 3 seed. Where was that one at? No, Chase. They are locked into the 4-5 game. So I guess technically, if Utah State were to lose to Air Force, that might change things. But I'm pretty sure they're locked in with the tiebreakers either way, since they got swept by Colorado State there, as if they were to go down the standings and see. Let's see what else here. We got folks arguing with each other in the chat. Sky saying Cardenas played lights out in front of NBA scouts. Don't apologize for a damn thing, kid. Let's see. Had some good tweets questioning the coaching tonight. He was fair. I mean, that's fine. I do like this. I'm always the one that gets blamed when the team underperforms, staff not fixing things, not helping. I mean, for whatever reason, folks love to come on the chat and blame me. It is kind of always one of the fun things I enjoy. Let's see what else we got in here. Larry, our resident New Mexico fan, was in here. Let's see what else we got. Let's see here. I'm trying to see what else we have in the chat. We can hear from Leon Rice here momentarily as well. I do have a tweet here from Colorado State coach Niko Medved. After they win a game on the road, it's kind of a tradition where they stop at the gas station to get snacks before they head back to their plane. And they stopped and got some snacks at ExtraMile and Jacksons here in Boise. Looks like that's the one on Broadway as they're getting ready to head out of town here. So hats off to Niko Medved and Colorado State as they get some well-deserved snacks for their trip back to Colorado State, and that's going to be a fun plane ride back for them. Let's see, a loss by San Diego State and a loss by Utah State ties them for third. Boise State wins a tiebreaker due to being them. Unlikely, but there is a chance. Okay, I guess technically, I think maybe there is a chance that they could get a 3, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 4 or a 5. So got flexed on by Niko Medved. Jeez, what a flex! I mean, they do that every road game, but when they win, so that's again something they do pretty regularly. But yeah, that was tough one tonight for Boise State. No really other way around it. I think we should just give our Matt Bowsher player of the game before we hear from Leon to I mean, I don't know if we've ever done this before, but can we give it to Niko Clifford? I mean, I don't know if we've ever given the Bowsher player of the game to an opposing player, but Niko Clifford probably deserves it tonight. 36 points. He goes 13 of 18, only misses 5 shots, 4 of 7 from three-point range, 6 of 6 from the foul line tonight as well. 36 points, the most ever in this building by an opposing player in the Leon Rice era. And so I think Niko Clifford deserves our Matt Bowsher Real Estate player of the game. And again, Matt Bowsher, BowsherRealEstate.com. All your real estate needs, whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up Matt Bowsher online, BowsherRealEstate.com. Let's see what else we got here. Spring football does start on Monday. Yes, we'll have an open practice, and we'll have Spencer Danielson talking to the media after practice. So we will have spring football coverage on Monday before we head down to Las Vegas. All right, everyone's favorite coach, Leon Rice. He spoke with the media after the game. We'll hear from that momentarily, but I do want to tell you about Ridley's Family Markets. ShopRidleys.com. Locations across the state of Idaho, surrounding states. Love that Kuna location. Ridley's Family Markets. You can check them out online at Ridley's. ShopRidleys.com. And you can get that Skip app too and get up to 40% off at the checkout line. But just always love going into that Kuna location, and they got great specials and deals, and just feels like a nice family-friendly atmosphere when you walk in there, and just love going to Ridley's. So support the sponsors, folks. Ridley's Family Markets. Hey, if you're looking for a job, you can get into the trucking industry. Transportation Compliance Services hiring, and they can help you get into the trucking industry, whether it's DOT, overweight, all the permits and things you need. Transcompservice.com is the website. Check them out online at transcompservice.com. Lean Feast, they're feeding the football team, the basketball team. They can feed you as well. LeanFeastMeridian.com. Check them out online. LeanFeastMeridian.com. Steak, shrimp, chicken, fish, turkey, ground beef, and you name it. They've got pretty much everything you're looking for. LeanFeastMeridian.com, and they can you go order anywhere in the Treasure Valley. They'll deliver to you. Pop it in your microwave for 2 minutes, and you're eating steak and shrimp, and it's good in the refrigerator for 5 days, by the way, as well. So I know the folks from Signature Roofing were in the crowd tonight. Signature Roofing, covering our community for more than 2 decades at mysignatureroofing.com. If you want to leave a voicemail, speakpipe.com/BNN. We'd love to hear a voicemail from folks. Speakpipe.com/BNN. And again, Signature Roofing, whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, an inspection, they got you covered online at mysignatureroofing.com. All right, we're going to get ready to hear from Leon Rice. Let's get that loaded up. We'll take another look at the always dangerous comment section here as well. Fiesta Bowl seems like it was yesterday. I agree on this one. 6 shots, needed more from Tyson. Now, we asked Leon Rice about that. You'll hear him say that part of it was the defense, the double teaming, the triple teaming that Colorado State was doing, but part of it is that Tyson needs to be a little more aggressive at times. So Jennifer says, feel bad for the seniors, still believe in the blue and orange. And I mean, like I said, if you want to take if you want to take the negative route and say, hey, they can't win in Vegas, season's over, NIT, I mean, that's certainly fine. But I think that if you want to take the positive route. I mean, the way this crazy season has gone, it would almost kind of be fitting for them to go on a magical run down there in Las Vegas and win the conference tournament and still make that history. So the season is not over yet. They still have games to play. They can still make the NCAA tournament by winning 3 games in Las Vegas. The path is there. The matchups aren't favorable with San Diego State and New Mexico waiting for them, but crazier things have happened. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see what the final matchups are and what happens here down the stretch. Let's see. Only good thing about the comment section about a loss is got players' parents on here, coffee dates, etc. Yeah, it is kind of a crazy chat that's going off the rails a little bit here. Still have won 9 out of 11. Yeah, 9-2 in the last 11 games. And as we said earlier, this may not be the last home game in this building. I could see very easily an NIT game in this building, especially if Tyson has a chance at the record. I think this team wants to keep playing for him, and I wonder what kind of crowd they would get if they hosted an NIT game in this building. I still think, I still think that that is a real possibility. I believe Boise State would be interested in that, in hosting an NIT game. My understanding also is that the new Las Vegas Crown tournament that's being run by Fox and Fox Sports 1 also has reached out to Boise State and shown some interest, and that's an intriguing one because it's in Las Vegas, and you have the NIL component behind it, where the collective gets some money from those tournaments. So I think that's an intriguing one as well, but I feel very confident in saying Boise State will play in a postseason tournament. I know some I've seen say, oh, if they lose, the first game, they should just be done. That's not happening. They will, they will play in a postseason tournament. It could be a home game here in the NIT. If it is the NIT, I believe it would be a home game. The Crown tournament's in Las Vegas, so there is still basketball for this team. Could be a lot of Circa action coming up. Yeah, you guys know which one I would prefer. I'll take the Crown down there in Las Vegas. I'd be happy with another return trip, and I believe Circa is actually sponsoring the Crown tournament, so that'd be kind of fun. By the way, if you are going to Las Vegas next week, those of you that haven't canceled your trips and are still going, Friday, if Boise State finds a way to win on Thursday and you're sticking around, Friday we'll have a pool party there at Circa on Friday during the day. Pool party at Circa. We have a cabana, and we'll have some good time watching the game. So if you come down to Vegas, we'll see you at Circa. And if Boise State does win on Thursday, join us on Friday for a pool party ahead of the semifinals there at Circa. All right, Leon Rice, head coach for Boise State. Let's hear from him after the game.
Tried to speak up, but any questions?
Obviously not the senior anymore.
No.
Expected. I mean, to be up 9 there midway through the second half.
Yeah.
What was kind of different about that?
Well, the obvious answer is Neek. He was special. We guarded him pretty good a lot of times, but he just wouldn't miss. And, even we guarded him and fouled him on a 3, and he still made it. He was cooking, and he looked like a lottery pick tonight. And but our guys kept on wood, got up, like you said, got up 10. Then right away he hit one, then we answered, then Andrew answered. But those guys didn't make a lot of mistakes down the stretch. I mean, they were 21 for 22 from the line. And we were pretty good from the line too. We were 20 for 23, but missed the front end. And they just made a few more plays than us in that little stretch and got away. And that was the difference in the game. We had a couple turnovers that were crucial in that, in that stretch.
There were a couple times where it felt like in that second half you were on the verge of putting them away. Just how frustrating is that just not to get the job done?
Well, that's basketball. But when you're playing a good team, they responded, and they had to respond. And Neek in that little stretch took it over. I mean, that was an impressive performance, but not just by him, by their team, but they did a nice job of getting him lots of shots and getting him the ball over and over again and directing it to him and made it tough. So
primarily putting Meadow on him. What was kind of that? Was there? What did you like, I guess, about not trying something different there?
Well, Andrew's one of our best perimeter defenders because he's got and with Neek there's not a lot of guys you can throw on him because of his size. You got to have some size on him, and because he shoots right over the top of smaller guys. You saw a couple times when he got inside on a switch, and it was kind of easy for him. And so, Andrew's big and strong and probably our best size perimeter defender. And, he was doing a good job. Like some of those shots were tough. And, we went zone a few possessions, got a couple stops on it. But then when you get down that, you can't stay in that. They got to land, and also they can eat a lot of clock there. We had to try to speed up the game when it got to that point.
Just 13 points in the last 11 minutes for you guys. Was it a case of something they were doing, or was it something you guys weren't doing?
Well, we had a couple that rattled in and out, but yeah, we had a couple turnovers in that couple crucial turnovers at a crucial time, and maybe our shot selection wasn't as good. There's a million things that we'll probably see on the film that we could have done better, no doubt. It's always that when you don't, when you go dry for a little bit.
And then just 7 for 29 from 3 as well.
Right.
Colorado State, typical man-to-man. You probably hope to get inside the paint a little bit more.
Well, they it's a pick your poison thing with us a little bit. I mean, we were getting to the free throw line to start, and that's how we got the lead, and we were kind of cooking, and then they were like, basically, all right, prove it from the outside, and we did it a few times. Meadow hit a couple big ones that looked like we were going to get the lead again, and they answered on all of them. You got to give them credit. They're playing good.
Tyson only had 6 shots.
Yeah.
What were they? Was it something were they doing?
He was good. But they ran 2 or 3 guys at him, and every time he dribbled it, every time he touched it, and it was a pick your poison thing.
Just with the senior night and what those seniors have meant to this program, to have them have to leave the court after a game like this.
Yeah, it's not what you want, but we knew we were playing a good team. We knew we were playing a hot team, and it was a high level college basketball game. Those were 2 really good teams playing, and when you have a guy go get 36, it's hard to, I said this before, like we pulled it off earlier in the season. When somebody goes and gets 30 on you, it's hard to beat them. You look at history, and if a guy gets 30, the team usually is in pretty good shape if they're a good team. And he went for 36 and had a pretty special night.
Is that one of the better opposing performances you've remembered in a long time?
In here, yeah, no doubt. I was thinking that it was an impressive one because he just wouldn't miss, and when he did, it wasn't by much. He had a couple misses, but it just barely. But it was an impressive performance.
How do you kind of we're just giving Bulls on the line tonight? How do you kind of regroup for Vegas next week?
Just you were gonna, you were in the bracket, you got the bye. Now you sort it out. You're gonna have to play somebody good. Everyone's going down there. If you're playing the 7 or the 5 or the 2 everybody's desperate, and everybody's going to go down there to play their best ball. And we got a lot of good teams in this league, and you saw 2 of them tonight. And you just got to, if you don't play a really good game, if you don't shoot and do all the things that you do well, then you're not going to get out of any of them with a win, no matter who you play. So it doesn't change. It would have been a nice victory because, like I said, that's a good team that we played tonight. But the season's not over for these guys, and I got a group of guys that when adversity strikes, man, they dig in, and they're going to dig in. And they gave everything they had tonight. You can't, sometimes you just got to tip your cap to the other team a little bit and keep trying to do things better. It's March, but I got a team that keeps getting better. And we didn't get our usual burst off the bench tonight. Usually we have some guys off the bench that are scoring for us and helping us, and we didn't get much of that tonight. And I think that really affected us.
There's Leon Rice speaking with the media after the game. The rest of that interview you can go watch. It's up. It'll be up shortly on our YouTube channel. So youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. You can hear all of our post-game interviews, highlights, and all that good stuff there after the game. Excuse me. So Boise State 83-73. They lose this one. They're now going to head down to Las Vegas, trying to go on and do something they haven't done very well down there, and that's win some games in this conference tournament and get themselves, at a minimum, in the conversation if they can get to the championship game. But I think the reality is you probably need to go down there and win the tournament now to get into the NCAA tournament. So not sure if this will be the last time back in this building or not. I think an NIT home game is a real possibility now. I do think that Crown tournament obviously is an interesting one as well in terms of the NIL component to that. But this team will continue to play basketball tonight. Tyson Degenhart, trying to think where he was record-wise. He got 15 points tonight. So I know he needed 47, so 32 points away now is Tyson Degenhart. So, maybe he goes and gets 33 and helps them beat San Diego State, and they win that game and move on to the next round. Who knows? But 32 points now. Tyson Degenhart is shy, and I just think to the Mountain West tournament, with Anthony Drimek needing falling 2 points shy, and you just hope Tyson now. 32 is not a given. They got 2 games left at a minimum, one in the conference tournament and one somewhere else. And 32 is not a given. He's going to have to do some work here, and obviously a tough one for these seniors on senior day to have it end like this. So Tyson goes for 15, Cardenas goes for 18, Stanley for 5. But as Leon said, only 6 points from the bench, and just not enough other guys stepping up tonight to help out. And you just feel bad for the seniors. This is the way looks like they're going to go out. And so, but crazier things have happened. I know most of you in the chat don't seem to have much faith in this team, but as I said, you look on paper and there's no reason they should beat San Diego State, which is exactly why they might and probably will go beat San Diego State. It's just crazier things have happened, and I just I'm not ready to throw in the towel in this season yet. So we'll see what happens down in Vegas. Appreciate you guys for joining us. I got the biggest games of the weekend are on Sunday. My son Naismith's kicking off his season opening day for the Meridian 10U Select Beaver team here. So we're going to try to get off to a hot start on Sunday, and those are the biggest games of the weekend now with my son, and good luck to him. And we'll see what happens here with the final couple of games, or how many more games they have left. We have spring football starting on Monday as well. Looking forward to getting some spring football coverage in, and we'll see what happens with Boise State down in Las Vegas. We will have full coverage Monday morning. I got to figure out the times because there is a practice Monday morning, so we may have to do our Monday show a little later in the day. I'll talk to Mike Prater, but the first spring football practice is open, so I don't think we'll do a 9 a.m. show. I'll have to let you guys know the timing on all of that. What did Naismith get for his birthday? Naismith got a lot of cool stuff, actually. He got a lot of V-Bucks from his friends, and Mama and Papa Rains, we splurged and got him a little video game trailer. Not sure if you guys have ever done that before, but we paid basically for a trailer to pull up in front of our house that had some big screen TVs and couches, and all of his friends played video games for a couple hours. That was a pretty cool little thing that he got to do, and then he got a lot of V-Bucks from his friends, which I guess helps him buy something on his video game. I don't know much about it. So, had a good birthday, and he's 10. And now looking forward to following his baseball season here this year. He was in the crowd tonight. He's got a pretty bad record, actually. My wife texted me that they're not going to come to any more games. I think my son, they went like 1-4 this year or something coming to the game. So maybe they're bad luck. But my son wanted to be here for Tyson's last game, and that was he went home sad tonight that they weren't able to get the win. So, looking forward to getting whenever the season ends. That's there's not always downsides. It's been a long 8 months here with football season into basketball season of traveling and doing things. So it'll be nice to get some family time here, and looking forward to Sunday, seeing the opening day for my son. And my other son is 8, Nelson. He plays baseball as well on a select team. So. Going to be a fun time whenever that does, but I'm not ready quite yet. Hopefully I'm missing his games next Saturday because I'm watching Boise State in the championship of the conference tournament. So we'll see moving forward here what happens. But I would say for those of you that are not feeling great, I get it. I feel for you. Tough season to this point. Tough game tonight, and surprising result given what we all thought would happen tonight. Just doesn't always work out the way it's supposed to. But I would say, if you're the glass half full guy, crazier things have happened, and this team doesn't seem like they're ready to give up quite yet. So we'll see what happens down there in Vegas. So appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. I'm not giving up on this team yet. I still got a weird feeling they're going to win a game or two down there and make something happen. But best part about winning the conference tournament would be not having to go to Dayton. I wouldn't mind not having to go to Dayton. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, hard for most of you to think they're going to go down to Vegas and do anything, and I understand that and get that. But I've seen this team in their lowest moments, and they usually respond pretty well. And I think that I'm not quite ready to just assume that they're going to lose down there in the first game. We'll see what happens. But appreciate you guys for checking out the show. Go support all of our great sponsors, including Jacksons. And again, we'll have a show for you sometime on Monday. I'm not quite sure of the timing yet due to the spring football practice, but spring football coverage Monday, and then head down to Las Vegas on Tuesday and see if this team can do something here in the conference tournament, or find out where the team will be playing in the postseason. So appreciate you guys. Thanks to all of our great sponsors. Go subscribe if you can. BNN 50 deal. If you missed any of the interviews, those are up on our YouTube channel. And we'll talk to you guys on Monday. Have a great rest of your weekend. Boise State falls 83-73. Broncos now 22-9 overall, 14-6 in league. They'll be in the 4-5 game against San Diego State, most likely, in the conference tournament on Thursday. Good thing with that is it's a 2:30 start time. So the timing is a little bit better. And tough one for Boise State, and we'll see what the next week brings us down in Las Vegas. But have a great rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you guys later. Bronco Nation News Live, the Jacksons Postgame Show after Boise State's 83-73 loss to Colorado State. We'll talk to you guys later. Take care.
It's game day. Are you ready?
Let's go!
Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, RowPaint.com. Our major sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, Lithia Ford, the Blue and Orange Store, Jacksons, and our contributing sponsors, Signature Roofing, Western Collective, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Boucher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and Timberstone Golf Course.